When I first heard the phrase urban farming, I imagined a few plants growing on apartment balconies, a hobby for city dwellers who missed the countryside. But when I decided to explore it for myself, I discovered that it was far more than a trend. Urban farming was transforming cities into living ecosystems, blending nature and technology to feed the growing population in sustainable and innovative ways. My journey began in the heart of a bustling metropolis. Between towering skyscrapers and endless traffic, I found an unexpected oasis, a vertical farm built inside a former warehouse. As soon as I stepped in, the air changed. Instead of car exhaust and concrete dust, the space was filled with the fresh scent of lettuce, basil, and strawberries. Rows of plants stretched toward the ceiling, stacked on shelves lit by soft pink-tinted LED lights. It looked more like a science lab than a traditional farm. The manager, a young agricultural engineer, explained how it worked. The farm used hydroponics, a method that grows plants without soil, using nutrient-rich water instead. Every drop was recycled and monitored by sensors that measured temperature, light, and humidity. Artificial intelligence systems optimized the conditions for each crop, ensuring perfect growth all year round. No droughts, no pests, no seasons. I was amazed to learn that this single building could produce as much food as a traditional farm 10 times its size. And it was located right in the middle of the city. The produce was harvested in the morning and sold to local markets and restaurants by afternoon. No long-distance transportation, no plastic packaging, and minimal waste. It was fresh, efficient, and sustainable. But vertical farms were only one piece of the puzzle. As I continued my research, I discovered rooftop gardens flourishing above apartment complexes, community farms reclaiming abandoned lots, and high-tech greenhouses powered by solar panels. Even subway tunnels and shipping containers were being converted into agricultural spaces. It seemed that every corner of the city was being reimagined as a place to grow food. One of the most inspiring stories came from a small neighborhood project. A group of residents had transformed an empty parking lot into a community garden. They grew vegetables together, shared harvests, and held workshops for children about composting and healthy eating. It is not just about growing food, one of the organizers told me. It is about growing connection. In that moment, I realized that urban farming was not only changing how we produced food, it was rebuilding the social fabric of city life. As global populations rise and urban spaces expand, traditional agriculture faces enormous challenges. Farmland is shrinking, and climate change is making weather patterns unpredictable. Urban farming offers a solution that is both local and resilient. It brings food production closer to consumers, reduces transportation emissions, and creates green spaces that improve air quality and mental health. Technology plays a huge role in this revolution. Drones monitor plant health, robots harvest crops, and data systems predict yield and detect diseases before they spread. Some futuristic farms even use aeroponics, a technique where roots are suspended in air and sprayed with a nutrient mist, saving up to 95% of the water used in conventional farming. It sounds like science fiction, but it is already happening in cities from Singapore to New York. Yet, amid all the innovation, the human element remains vital. Urban farming also empowers local communities. In many developing cities, rooftop and vertical farms are helping families achieve food security and financial independence. People are learning how to grow their own produce, reducing reliance on imports and building self-sufficiency. I visited one such project on the edge of the city. The rooftop was covered with planters made from recycled bottles and old crates. Families worked side by side, planting herbs, tomatoes, and leafy greens. A small solar-powered pump supplied water, and compost bins turned kitchen waste into fertilizer. We used to think farming was only for the countryside, a mother said as she smiled proudly at her spinach. Now our children grow up understanding where their food comes from. Urban farming is also influencing architecture. Modern buildings are being designed with integrated gardens, edible walls, and greenhouse rooftops. Restaurants grow their own herbs on site. Schools teach biology through indoor farms. And hospitals are introducing therapeutic gardens to promote healing. Even corporate offices are joining in, creating green terraces where employees can relax and reconnect with nature. Still, the path forward is not without challenges. Setting up urban farms requires significant investment, and energy use for artificial lighting can be high. Governments must create supportive policies, provide incentives, and integrate urban agriculture into city planning. Education is equally important. People need to understand how sustainable food systems work and how their choices affect the environment. As I looked out over the city skyline from a rooftop garden one evening, I saw patches of green among the steel and glass. It struck me that this was more than an environmental movement, it was a cultural shift. We were learning to coexist with nature again, even in the most urbanized environments. Urban farming is not about turning cities into countryside. It is about creating a new balance. It blends technology with ecology, community with innovation. It turns rooftops into orchards, walls into gardens, and neighbors into collaborators. In the future, cities might not just consume, they will produce. Skyscrapers could become vertical ecosystems, and local farms could replace distant supply chains. Imagine ordering salad made from vegetables grown just a few blocks away, harvested the same morning. That future is already taking shape. Exploring the world of urban farming opened my eyes to a powerful truth. Sustainability is not a distant dream. It is something we can build right where we live. Every seed planted in a city is a small act of hope. A reminder that even in concrete jungles, life finds a way to grow. And perhaps that is the real future of urban life. A future where technology and nature no longer compete, but collaborate to feed both our bodies and our souls.